There's a misconception that students just spend a lot of time getting drunk, going to parties and not really listening. However, that's definitely not the case.
Why don't we tell people what's important to us as young voters, and why don't we do that together?
Realise that technology is a way out, not a way in.
It's totally unfair that businesses can continue to advertise unpaid work, and it's illegal.
The best way to give young people political appetite, I believe, is through educating them on how to be active citizens.
If you take a look back at how many young people voted in the last election, it's actually a pretty depressing picture. Fewer than half of 18 to 24-year-olds turned out on election day, and young women were even less likely to vote. But despite all that, it's not as if our generation don't care. Every day we're tweeting, we're blogging, and we're debating about the issues that matter to us. But my generation has little ability to influence politics. Our voices are rarely heard in the news, and our opinions, they're actually largely ignored. So we figured the smart thing to do would be to effectively build our own social network, our own community, to amplify the ideas and views young people share every day with each other. We designed the site for mobile first and gave our designers and developers a simple brief. Make it beautiful and make it easy to use, whatever device you're on. And it works like this. On the home screen, there are 4 main buttons. Hot topics, where people can choose to engage in debates about things like votes at 16, the Scottish referendum, or equality.
Earlier this week, it was revealed that there's going to be a leaders' debate. The leaders from all the main political parties fighting for a vote in the general election will be able to debate the issues that we care about.
Open Mic is exactly that, a place where users can let rip about absolutely anything that gets them going.
I'm Caitlin, and I trust the police. That seems pretty odd in these times, right? But I think that the more that we promote the hatred of the police, the more it becomes us and them.
Young girls on our streets are being harassed by older men and don't feel safer in their communities.
Thank you to everybody else posting in videos. I've learned a lot of other people's concerns, issues.
We've created an SUBC newsfeed with shareable content young people might find interesting and relevant. And stand-ups. This is where users get to see their own profile grow. All their posts are in one place.
Just a quick one from me, and not about politics either. This is actually just a clip of me basically talking about me and my partner. I'm really, really happy, and I really love my partner. And he goes to uni next week, and I said goodbye to him today, and I cried because I'm an idiot.
What they're basically doing is building their own blog. They can also view what other people are posting and comment or share it. Getting started is easy. Users create a profile with a picture and few words about themselves, and then they're in. Stand-ups can then upload an existing blog or video from their computer, or use the site to fire up the phone's camera, record a video and send to SUBC. And the response has been incredible.
Hi, I'm Georgia, I'm 17, I'm from Walton, Liverpool. I'm filming today to talk about the equality between female and male sports teams.
Just being a Muslim myself, just walking out onto the street, I seem to be called a terrorist and just go back to my country. I think it's quite unfair and it's really wrong that people say that to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Calvin from Hong Kong, and I'm very happy to have this chance to share with all of you why we as teenagers are here and why we step onto the streets to voice out amid such a critical situation.
We've set up a dedicated social media team to engage in debate and connect people, and we've seen a huge lift in engagement with young people and some pretty robust discussion. You can engage with SUBC on all the big networks. We've hosted Google Hangouts, and a recent Facebook Q&A reached more than 70,000 people. And it's not just politics. We follow what people are talking about. Our most seen tweet was an infographic about teens sending nude pictures to their friends, seen more than 150,000 times. We've also made it easy for people to share their own content. On the mobile view, we've added a Kik and WhatsApp function so people can share to the newer platforms that are out there.
Stand Up Be Counted is a fantastic opportunity for the young beneficiaries of Media Trust work. Media Trust believes in the power of media to change lives, and we work with disadvantaged and diverse young people to engage them in media. They can create amazing content through their smartphones, They can upload that content really easily, and they can engage with not only Sky News audiences, but also with the politicians that come into Sky News and into Stand Up Be Counted. It's also easy for politicians to come into the site and engage with young people directly, which is something that they can't often do through mainstream news.
I'm Chloe Smith. I'm an MP. I was elected when I was 27, and I want to try and give you a straight answer to some of the questions you put on this site.
I refuse to tolerate not being given a vote in the next general election come this May, purely because of my age.
I think 16 and 17-year-olds should have a vote everywhere, because if you want people to engage in a political system, you need to allow them to do that.
Should 16-year-olds be allowed to vote? The Scottish referendum saw a first in UK election history when 16 and 17-year-olds were allowed to do that for the first time. Today, a report calls for the voting age for all future elections to be lowered to 16 and for politics to be made a compulsory GCSE subject. Well, Sky News is running the online campaign Stand Up Be Counted to encourage youngsters to have their say. More on that in a moment. But first, Ashish Joshi has this report.
16. That twilight age, when you're not a child, but you're not an adult either. Old enough to marry, but not old enough to vote.
I think we just don't have as much of a stake in society at this age. So, I don't pay many taxes, I don't have a mortgage, I'm not a heavy user of the NHS. And I think ages of 16 and 17 you should be learning about this rather than voting on stuff that isn't particularly integral to your everyday life.
But that's the point, isn't it? We hear that phrase bandied around a lot, that, with a right comes a responsibility. You could argue, couldn't you, at 18, you've got the right to vote, but you've also got the responsibility to pay taxes, because people by 18 tend to be moving into the workplace in some instances. Do you see that connection? Does Emma have a point, do you think?
In my eyes, I don't, because I think younger teenagers, 16 and 17-year-olds, are really running this digital democracy. If you have a look at Twitter, we're all tweeting our favourite MPs, or, more to the point, the ones we dislike about how much we hate them. We are so involved. So what's saying that you have to be going into a job every day and paying your taxes to want to be involved in politics and to know how to be involved in politics?
We sent a team of our stand-uppers to the conferences where they filed their own pieces each day, going around behind the scenes, talking about what they were interested in. And they were a great success because it gives it a fresh opinion, it gives it a different look and a whole different perspective. And some of these guys have just been fantastic, the stuff they've done. So we've ended up having them on the channel as newspaper reviewers and pundits contributing to other stories and debates around the Labour leadership. And it just gives us a different perspective and it gets us away from the sort of same old voices.
Just approaching Manchester for the first of our 3 political party conference experiences.
We're really interested in hearing what Labour have to say about issues affecting young people.
In particular, lowering the voting age to 16.
So we're just trying to engage young people ourselves as young people, and Sky News is all about doing that platform.
Really nice to meet you guys. All right, enjoy the rest of the conference.
Part of the objective of SUBC is to see a big increase in the numbers of young people registering to vote. The rules for individual registration changed this year, and it could mean college students slipping through the net when they leave home. We've added a direct link to the government's new site so people can get signed up. And for school-age students, a lack of political education is a common complaint. So we developed a Key Stage 5 learning zone using Sky's top journalists as part of a teacher's resource.
Some people call you guys the selfie generation, or it might as well be the selfish generation, because the politicians can rely on you to be apathetic, not to vote, not to care about the big political issues of the day. I think that is profoundly wrong.
From the very start, safety was a big priority. There's just no trolling here. All posts and comments are pre-moderated using a content management system we developed for SUBC. We used as many open source tools as we could, including cloud services, to host the site and manage the large volume of videos. And this is just the start. We want as many young people as possible to use our site and to use us to amplify their voices as we head into the general election and beyond.
I believe that public transport should be free up to the age of 18.
I personally don't want to buy a house. I never want to own a house. To me, owning a house is a very silly idea.
The youth can continue to feel worthless and in depression, so the government needs to create more jobs with a sense of purpose and progression. Tuna James, stand up and be counted.